Transgender rights are a huge issue of debate in our political landscape today. Michael Knowles has recently garnered a lot of attention for some of his comments regarding the trans community.
If it is false, then for the good of society, and especially for the good of the poor people who have fallen prey to this confusion, transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely. The whole preposterous ideology at every level.
Many trans activists are calling his speech a call for genocide and believe that he should not be allowed to come speak at universities like Purdue. This issue of allowing certain conservative speakers to come talk at universities has been an ongoing debate in our nation regarding where we should draw the line for free speech and the First Amendment. Purdue is well known for its commitment to free speech, so we decided to take to the streets and see what people really think about these issues and try to understand both sides of this very important debate. Despite what some people have labeled us, we are not right-wing media, and this video is not for the purpose of clip farming or misrepresenting a movement. Please don't shame or make fun of any individuals featured in this video. This video is for the purpose of facilitating political understanding and bridging the divide in our nation today. Hopefully you can learn something or be able to see these issues in a new light. Enjoy. So we're out here today at the beautiful Purdue Memorial Union. Michael Knowles, the right-wing conservative public figure, has been invited here by the Young America's Foundation to come speak here today. And as you can tell, there's many people outside protesting Michael Knowles being here. And there's also very many people lined up inside to see him come today. He doesn't come here for about 2 hours, but there's already a great commotion gathering here, and we're just going to be interviewing some people today, seeing what they think about Michael Knowles coming here today, seeing what they think about the First Amendment and the freedom of speech, and just getting a grasp of where people's minds are for this event today. Sick. You guys have time for an interview?
We're actually also
You are? Oh, my bad. My bad. Sorry. You guys got time for an interview?
Who are you with?
It's just me and my microphone, really.
We're not going to do that.
Okay. Cool. We're not with anyone, though. It's just...
Okay.
Yeah, folks here aren't going to be speaking to you then.
You're not going to be speaking to any... No one's going to be doing any interviews today?
I
don't have, like,
Unless you're affiliated with an actual media outlet, we're not going to be speaking with you.
Okay. That's cool. Huh? Alright, you want to try to ask some other people?
I guess we'll ask some other people then. You said none of them are talking to...
Yeah.
Alright, so I just heard from somebody over there that apparently none of them are going to be talking to us today because we're not affiliated with any media. So pretty much we're just two guys with a microphone, so I don't know, we're going to see. We're going to see if anyone wants to do an interview, though. We're still going to try. Would you guys be willing to do an interview today?
Not today.
Anyone?
No, thank you.
We're not politically biased. We're not trying to catch anyone. We're just trying to ask questions, understand where people's minds are at with this, why you guys feel so strongly about this, and just kind of get an idea where you guys' hearts and minds are at with this. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So what do you think people inside going to see him speak today don't understand about why this is so important?
I think it's a lot of misunderstanding of who.
We're just trying to do an independent thing.
Is this for like a school project or?
No, this is literally just for YouTube.
We're just trying to ask people's opinions.
Can we see your social media that you're posting these to?
We're not posting this.
Then why are you?
I'm gonna post it on YouTube, but I don't have an account yet or anything. I mean, you could look at my account. I don't have any videos posted on there.
Or actually, can you delete the footage? I'm not super comfortable with it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
It's on video. Get the lines on video. Would you guys be willing to do a quick interview today?
Sure.
All right. So you guys fans of Michael Knowles?
Yes.
Yes,
All right. So what do you guys like about him?
I like that he's like a traditional Catholic. So like I really like that. He goes to like Latin mass and stuff, so that's really cool.
All right. So what do you guys think about the people who are protesting outside today?
I don't know. Like I mean, they're free to do it. It's a little bit like as long as they stay calm and whatever. Like, I'm okay with it. They're entitled to their own beliefs, but like, just stay out of the way a little bit.
Their take was kind of interesting, saying that like all around campus they're posting signs and stuff saying Knowles was projecting and saying that like calling for the genocide of trans people and that kind of thing. But really, if you look into what he's saying, that's not at all what he's calling for.
So what do you think will happen if people like Michael Knowles aren't allowed to host these type of events?
Honestly, I think we'll start to see even more of a shift towards people that just believe what the media is telling them, what the mainstream media is telling them, all that kind of stuff. You'll see even more of a shift than there already is.
Thank you, guys.
I don't think there is like a drag show. Just like people having fun. This ain't a drag show, bro. These guys are playing cornhole.
All right, so we're out here where the drag show is taking place to protest Michael Knowles coming in to talk today. So we're going to be trying to interview some people here as well. Sure. Awesome. All right, let's move around, see if we can see some people here. Do you think they're just saying that?
Yeah, they might have been.
You got time for an interview?
What's this for?
Just for an individual YouTube channel.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, so do you mind telling us just what's going on here today?
Well, today is a very important day because we are going just all out. We are just embracing trans love, trans life. It's just a wonderful celebration of all these people who make our lives so special.
So what do you think people don't understand about the trans community? Or what misunderstandings do people have about the trans community, about drag, about what's going on out here?
Well, a lot of people just don't understand a whole bunch of things. One of them being that the fact that there's a lot of issues surrounding the community that are just based on a lot of lies. There's so many things that have been done to our community to make it weaker over the years, but we just keep fighting back and we come back stronger. So a lot of us, this is about personal freedom. This is about personal expression. This is about personal life. So a lot of what we do is an expression of not only ourselves, but what people have fought so hard to secure for us. If I would walk anywhere like this, I would definitely get hate crimed. But here, because everyone in this community at least knows of the struggle, we're all fighting together.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Nice to meet you. That was good. Do you have a second for an interview today? Sure. Awesome. So would you mind telling us just what's going on out here, what people are out here celebrating?
So this is our block party to eradicate transphobia.
So what do you think the most common misunderstandings are about the LGBTQ community, about the trans community?
I think that a lot of people are worried about things they don't understand. And so I think you hit it right on the head. What's the misunderstandings? And so what really is important is to get to know people of various communities. That's why diversity is important, and being able to understand and talk to people across things that might be different. And so I think it's hard to generalize like that, but I think that we could deal with those misunderstandings by trying to get to know each other.
So is this in response to Michael Knowles coming to speak today at Purdue?
I couldn't say that because I'm just here because I saw the event was happening. So I wouldn't really know. But I do know it's existing, but yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the interview.
You want to film me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm out here. I'm out here at the drag show. I don't know who I want to grab. I'm talking loud. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, so first question is why are you coming out here?
I don't know. I was kind of bored, and also like I don't really get to see more like LGBT people all in one space, so I decided to come.
Okay. Are you aware of the Michael Knowles situation at all, or are you just coming out here to like for the event?
I'm not aware of that actually.
Follow up. How would you rate your experience at this event? 1 out of 10.
So far an 8, but I'm really excited for the drag show.
What?
I'm really excited for the drag show.
Okay. And when does that start?
7 p.m.
7. Okay. 7 p.m. Be here or be square.
7 p.m. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No, they're not. I'm stopping them. I'm stopping them. I believe that's an Antifa flag, if my memory served me correctly. We need all sides. I think the problem is that we've gotten a lot of people on the, I'd say like center left. We ran into some far lefters outside the union, and then we're gonna talk to some people who are also very far left, but not as involved in the trans issue. Actually, they probably are if they're with Antifa, but Antifa, you catch that? With the TH, Jesus. All right, we gotta go. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me real quick. Would one of you guys be able to do an interview? Just one of you guys? Quick interview? No? No? Seems like you guys are pretty passionate. No? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's just go outside the union. Yeah, so we got a big crowd. Big crowd. Oh, trans hate kills. Trans hate kills. Okay. Excuse me. Do one of you guys want to do a quick interview with us? Good. All right. Let's try to find some people in the middle. Excuse me. Does one of you guys want to do a quick interview?
How much time?
You do? All right. So, first of all, why are you coming out here today?
In support of trans rights and the LGBTQ plus community.
All right. Following up on that, what's your opinion on Michael Knowles?
I don't really. I've seen like clips of him being a dipshit on Twitter. Outside of that, I don't really know much about him.
Okay. And then, what's your involvement with the trans community?
I have a lot of friends, and well, actually, pretty much everyone I know. People in my family, people in my community, and it's important for not only me and the people around me now, but for my children and the children of my friends and the children.
So this is a big personal concern, is what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Great. Going off of what you're saying with like, you want the best for your children. Would you say that Michael Knowles being allowed, or people like Michael Knowles being allowed to speak and being allowed to, just promote trans hate, would you say that would lead to a much bleaker future?
Well, one thing I do know is that speech like Michael Knowles and of his like, that causes like a lot of the trans rights bills that are being currently passed in like state governments and state legislatures to prevent gender affirming care to like younger people or people who need that care for themselves, you know what I mean? So like in states like Florida, they're currently passing bills, and that's like dangerous, and that's happening because of speech like this being so common, you know?
Yeah. And then would you say that like, I don't want to say canceling, but like, trying to reduce speech like this would be an effective measure of combating hate speech against trans, or would you say that there's another method towards...
I think the method can always be like it's not as simple as convincing, but it's just like, it really is just like stopping the hate, like seriously, because like you can convince these people maybe one by one in like several conversations where it's like you explain that this is the way people feel, and you need to have more empathy in your heart towards everybody in your community, not just people that look like you or talk like you know what I mean? But And that's like a really long process, and that starts by, I mean, having talks by people like him, but there needs to be a countermeasure where there's like a much louder voice coming from people like all of us. That's why I like kind of want speeches to happen from like trans rights activists on the same scale as these Michael Knowles kind of talks, because it's kind of insane that they paid so much money for that. Like, what's that about? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then trying to think of a good follow-up to that. Would you say that, or how would you go about exhibiting more, correct speech, like more speech that kind of counters this hate? Like, how would you go about that? Like, I guess in a political or maybe a law-based way.
Well, I mean, something that's so simple, which is so stupid, which people do hate, and they're gonna hate on, and they're gonna yell at me for. But there are just certain words that you could just put as a filter on social media websites or like texting services, where it's like you can't say the word like groomer. You know what I mean? Like that is an inflammatory word, and that is never used in a positive context. It's never used in a way that, you know what I mean? If you use that word, there always needs to be a follow-up explanation. So just don't use the word in the first place. Have the explanation.
What if someone's an actual child groomer?
Then you would explain the situation. This person abused children. Like the priest.
But then Michael Knowles, yeah. And Michael Knowles' whole argument is that, drag show readings towards kids and things of that nature are efforts to groom children to be parts of the LGBTQ. What would you say your opinion is on that?
I would say there's a lot of, like, I can only say it from the perspective of, I have seen people literally generate AI images of drag queens at, like, kindergartens and whatnot. So like it's exactly like a false narrative being spun, where like there are no times where we're gonna put on a drag show specifically for children to teach them about how to be in the LGBTQ community. That is not real. There are drag shows that do that, which children are allowed to be at, that like
they're reading like The Hungry Caterpillar and not like Mommy and Daddy and Daddy.
They're not doing that shit. They're literally just performers performing for children. You know what I mean? It's not, you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Well, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated. Yeah, thank you. What's up? Why? Why? We're not doing anything wrong. We're not. We're not right. We're not.
Only right-wingers are that bad explaining themselves, bro.
What? If I was right-wing, I don't think I would have this. Why?
He discovers deception.
We're here for the same reason you are. All right. Excuse me, you can't tell us what to do. No, we're good.
Oh, we're gonna make sure everyone knows who the fuck you are.
Who are we? No answer.
I don't know who. I don't even have a channel.
Yeah.
All right.
Unbelievable. All right. So we gotta preface.
We're not with.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. All right. Who are you trying to ask?
I know. When you guys get a quick second.
Don't talk to these guys. Conservative media.
We're not.
How do you know?
Yeah, you fucking are. Get out.
We're not.
We're not.
Give yourselves weight.
Giving ourselves away. I'm holding this, bro.
What are you guys here for?
We're just doing independent interviews.
We're literally just talking to people.
We're just like posting to YouTube.
We're not asking any crazy questions. We're just trying to understand why people are maybe that here and why people care about these issues and stuff. Respect.
Would you want to do an interview with us?
I really don't have anything to say.
Okay. For sure. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Gotta juke him out. Let's do a full. We're gonna do a little lap around here. Let's see. Excuse me, do you have a second for a quick interview today?
Sure, who are you?
We're just independent media. We're literally just two guys with a microphone just trying to understand where people's hearts are at, where people's minds are at. Yeah. Thank you. They're saying we're right-wing media, but we're not actually. We're not with anyone. We're just trying to understand. All right. So why did you feel the need to come out here today, sir?
Well, let me just present my sign to you here. So, as Americans, we stand for certain values in this country. And one of the founding documents of our democracy was talking about the inalienable rights for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I think it's really important that we stand up for those. If we don't, people will incite violence against minorities, and it will end up being horrible for all.
So going off that issue, talking about the Constitution, talking about America's founding values, where do you decide to draw the line for what constitutes free speech, what constitutes hate speech?
I think it comes down to a lot to inciting violence. And so when you use words like eradicate, that is basically inciting violence. And so I think that crosses the line.
So what do you think people who are going to listen to Michael Knowles speak today, what do you think they don't understand about these issues, about why they're so important, about why these ideas might be dangerous?
I think that if people took time to really get to know their neighbor, they would, I think, have a much better understanding of what's going on. I think that a lot of this comes from just not knowing people. I think it also comes from fear. I think there's a lot of fear in this country on both sides of the political spectrum. And I think if we can let go of some of that fear, if people realize that they are loved, then perhaps they can actually love others.
Yeah. So going off of that, what do you think are some of trying to see from a different perspective, what do you think are some of the criticisms that they're taking on trying to cancel him, and why that might be an issue, why they see this as an issue?
I don't really understand that question.
Like, based on the free speech issue going on here and the debate kind of going on here, how there's basically people trying to say that he shouldn't be allowed to come here, he shouldn't be allowed to talk here. Can you see how right-wingers might see that as an issue?
Oh, I can certainly see that as an issue. There's a fine line between free speech and hate speech, and I'm all for free speech. I'm carrying around the sign. It's free speech. People can speak. They just can't encourage violence and hurting people.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
Appreciate it. Maybe we could just interview people inside.
Nah, you can't put your hands on me.
Don't hit it. Don't hit him. Just don't hit my cameraman, please. We're just trying to ask people questions.
You can't be pushing me, bro.
Just be civil, please.
Yeah.
But then you guys will be willing to do an interview real quick?
What are your credentials? Who are you with?
I'm just me with a microphone. Just a guy with a microphone.
You're a guy with a microphone?
Yes.
Yeah. We won't say who he's from. Won't give even a podcast name, YouTube channel.
I'll give you my YouTube channel.
If nobody wants to talk to you, then you gotta stop. It's harassment at that point, you know?
This guy was about to talk to me until you guys came up and harassed us.
Okay.
I'm not harassing
People want
you.
to talk to
you. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, so why are you out here today?
Today, I'm trying to understand the positions voiced by various groups. Trying to see what people are trying to say and trying to make my own mind, yeah.
So why do you think people are so emotional, so passionate about this issue?
I feel like identity is a big thing for people, and yeah, I feel like when someone is when it comes to identity, it's important, I guess. Yeah.
Do you know anything about Michael Knowles, about why he's coming to talk here today?
Yeah, no, I do know a bit. I've watched some of his stuff. I don't agree with all of his points, but I think he's a fair speaker. Sometimes he's a bit harsh, but I think he definitely deserves to be listened to, like anyone does. So yeah.
So where do you think we draw the line? A lot of people are coming out here saying that he's trying to eradicate trans people, that he's talking in terms of hate speech. First of all, do you think that hate speech is a valid criticism or a valid way to negate people's speech, like the First Amendment?
So this is a very difficult point, because sometimes hate speech can be used for violence. So really, there's no like clear answer. But again, like I do kind of err on the side of free speech, although I do agree completely that it is very often used, especially in like authoritarian governments, to promote violence and stuff like this. But free speech is important at the same time. So yeah, it's a hard point, but yeah.
So where would you draw the line for what would be going too far as like speech goes?
Well, that's a difficult question because there's a lot of different lines to draw, right? Because, you know, I don't know, if you ask me a particular, like, on a particular issue, I could tell you, but there's like many lines.
You think that what Michael Knowles said would not be defended by the First Amendment?
There's many things he said.
People said that he's trying to eradicate trans people. But he didn't exactly say that. He said eradicate trans ideas. Okay. So I don't know where you line up on that.
I don't know. I usually do it by statement, on a statement-to-statement basis. So if he makes a statement, right, I might say, all right, that's too much or that's too little. Like, you know, it's all on a case-by-case basis. So, yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Let me ask these people.
And you guys got a second for a quick interview?
Sure.
Awesome. All right, so why'd you feel the need to come out here today?
Because I have a lot of friends and peers and family who are trans, and, you know, just the idea of this transphobic piece coming onto our campus, it pissed me off. So that's why I'm here.
So going off of that, I'm guessing you don't like Michael Knowles. What do you not like about him?
You know, his speech at CPAC, where he said we must eradicate the trans ideology. I don't support that. I think that that's just inciting genocide and violence against our trans peers and our friends.
So do you think that Michael Knowles should be allowed to come here and talk today?
You know, I guess we can't stop him. I would much rather him not be here, honestly. But you know, we can't stop him. So, you know, free speech. Anybody should be allowed to speak.
Absolutely. So you think that he is protected by the First Amendment, that ultimately it's a valuable, you know, thing that he should be able to allow to come talk here, have a different opinion?
I'm not sure about valuable, but under the First Amendment, he should be allowed to speak, I suppose.
So where would you draw the line between what constitutes free speech and what constitutes hate speech?
Hate speech, I would say, constitutes as inciting violence against a certain group of people. And in this case, a marginalized group of people.
So if they're going in. Okay. If hate speech laws were enacted, what do you think would be the defining line between which groups are protected, which groups aren't, and who would ultimately decide what is allowed to be said?
I think every group would be protected. In a perfect world, every group would be protected, and the people who would make it up should be the government, I guess, yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Oh, they're going in there. All right, we got to go in with them. Just get all this video. All right, so everyone is coming in here. They were protesting out here for a while, but now they're coming into the PMU. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. That guy just flipped me off. He doesn't look like a college student to me, but they're chanting "coward" if you can't hear that. What up? Anyone got a second for an interview? Just a real quick one. Would you be willing to do a quick interview?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. All right, so why did you feel the need to come out here today?
So I am trans, I'm disabled. I know that hateful rhetoric has an incredibly big impact on all marginalized communities, and I think it's important to stop these things. I think the only way forward is love and openness.
So you don't believe that Michael Knowles should be allowed to come to Purdue to talk today?
I think that Purdue has a very much is committed to free speech, but we need to still let them know that this is unacceptable, that we choose love, that we don't believe that this is correct at all. I don't think that Purdue should be endorsing anybody who says things like this no matter what. So
you disagree with him, but you don't necessarily believe that it should be shut down? Or are people trying to come in here and shut down the speech, or are they just trying to protest it and show people that he's wrong?
I think that probably there are people who want to do all things on both. They both want to shut it down and they just want to protest. And I think that, I understand where the frustration comes from, and it's really valid. I just think that we need to, if we to move towards liberation, we really need to be invested in, approaching each other with love no matter what. And, So
do you believe that there should be regulations on speech or changes made to the First Amendment to make sure that marginalized groups aren't targeted?
Yeah, I think that Purdue definitely does not do enough about hate speech. I think that, limiting exactly what can be said and understood, there being very clear consequences for what is said, because speech does lead to real world consequences, and our social reality builds our built reality, and it's always really important that we don't have ideas, that we don't endorse ideas that are inherently eugenic, that inherently cause harm and are violent. And I think, I don't think that should ever be considered acceptable. Yeah.
So where would you draw the line for what constitutes, from a legal standpoint at least, hate speech and speech that should not be allowed versus speech that should be allowed?
Yeah, I think that I don't know enough about the law probably to say exactly what's what, but I think that, historically we can understand that there are very clear eugenic there's very clear eugenic rhetoric. There's, and these things evolve, and I think we need to, it can't be so clear cut as one law, one rule, but we need to have evolving conversations about, what is hateful, and, meet each other, and not only, maybe not necessarily prohibit, but have conversations about, why this is completely unacceptable.
So going off that, what do you think everyday individual Americans should do to better bridge the political divide and the political hatred that's existing in our country?
Yeah, I think that we have kind of this focus on bipartisanism. Yeah, and I think it's really easy to draw divides between each other. I just think that there is a deeper ethic of love that the most marginalized people advocate for all the time. This idea that, everybody, yeah, it's really hard to filter. Yeah, I think that love is this ethic, this fundamental commitment to each other and our own, our well-being. I think that once, I don't think we can fight hate with hate. I think we have to, every day come in with this openness and understanding of all people, and that, I think that includes all of us, and I think that the most oppressed people have been talking about this for a really long time. And I think it's, the ethic of love is very revolutionary, in my opinion. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the interview today.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
I'm sorry if that wasn't very clear.
No, that was great. Thank you so much. Let's go outside. You do? Yeah. All right. Let's just get a video of what's going on inside. And where did they go? They're not in there. I literally have no idea where they went. Sorry. Oh, here they are. Oh, everybody's lined up over here. All right. Did you guys want to do a quick interview today?
I saw you guys
Hey.
Don't try and take.
Don't try to take a phone. All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, it's on.
Hopefully you learned something about these important issues in this ongoing debate, or were able to see these issues in a new light. If you want to see some more good interviews and content from the protest, go check out the full uncut footage on my channel. If you enjoyed this video or the way we conducted these interviews and would like to see more videos focusing on important ideas, please like, subscribe, and share. As always, never stop questioning, talking, and thinking. Thank you.